Alright everyone, now it's time to talk about meme coins and or shit coins and or altcoins. Call them what you want, and there are a dozen different terminologies at this point. My thoughts on them. The other day I actually bought some Shiba. I figured that was a good investment. And some people immediately rambled at me, "No, you bought the peak! What are you doing?" It's interesting, I did the same with Doge, and yet I have more value in Doge now than I did when I made my initial purchase. Supposedly that too was a peak. It was, but it was a peak, not the peak. It's only the peak if you assume that it's a pump and dump. If you assume that there's any possibility of staying power thereafter, then it's not a pump and dump. It's just a height, it's spiking, it falls back down, it goes up. Bitcoin's been doing this. The thing is that you've got innovation within certain types of cryptocurrencies that go beyond like Bitcoin, the initial, the dinosaur crypto. Now I hold Bitcoin, and by the way, disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor or anything. This video is just me rambling with my own personal opinions. I'm not giving you any form of fiscal advice. Got to say that up front for legal purposes, even though you shouldn't technically have to. It's like, yeah, I look like a financial advisor. Welcome to my office with my sword and the dude flipping you off and the too many energy drinks. The really, really sophisticated setup, by the way, with my computer sitting there on the milieu box. Yes, Styx Hexenhammer accounting firm. Anyway, getting back to the subject. I bought 17 million Shiba, and again, some people were rambling about how this was a terrible idea. But I don't consider this a pump and dump. I don't think that it's a scam coin or something like that. Now, I think that this is the normal pattern that these coins typically follow, and I'd like to make a little bit of a comparison. This current fiscal situation, that the real world's finances right now are a mess. The U.S. economy has chronic shortages, inflation, etc. Other economies, China has a real estate problem, a bubble that might pop in their faces and cause a recession there. There are problems all over the world with the economy. We've got an energy crisis of our own making, and hyper-regulation, and commies, and all sorts of other nasty little bugs that we need to shoo into the dustbin of history. Meme coins and the internet economy at large, though, being relatively new, it's sort of like the early 80s. There was a lot of this sort of investment stuff going on back then as well. And some people made fortunes, and yes, some of it involved scams. At other times, even being involved with a pyramid scheme, some early entrances there ended up getting paid off and then some anyway, because it's the whole point. You don't want to screw your initial investors or the scam doesn't work. I don't think that any particular coin I've invested in is a scam. Even if it were, as long as it's calculated properly, I expect to at least break even. So it's not, I mean, I know taxes apply when you actually sell the coins off. I've got a huge amount of LBC. I'm continuing to generate it because I use Odyssey. That's almost 5 cents a coin at the moment. Considering the amount that I have, that's not bad. And before it's hit over $1 a coin, I'd be sitting pretty. I'd be at the point where if I offloaded at that point, even the stuff that's already available that's not tied to any of the content on the blockchain, I'd be buying a house. So keeping all of this in mind, this kind of fiscal free-for-all, is it sustainable long-term? Possibly. That requires, though, that regulation enter the situation, and that's exactly what the government of the United States specifically is trying to do, to regulate crypto. If this happens, a lot of people will immediately get out. It'll crash the crypto markets. This is my opinion. First, you have a crash. Crypto all of a sudden is much cheaper. It's going to get sponged up by all the whales. It's going to get sponged up by the 99% of businesses and banks and so forth that haven't bought in yet. And yes, they will buy the shit coins too, because they'll be dirt cheap. Hey, this coin here is 0.000001 cents a piece. We'll buy a couple trillion of them, and then we'll pump it. You see, here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing. When people are getting spastic about the pump and dump nature of shitcoins, or even about Bitcoin, which has been labeled a scam since day one, and there are people that have become multimillionaires because of it. I dare say they don't consider it a scam. Some of these people hold thousands of Bitcoins still, and it's very impressive. I wish I had 1,000 Bitcoins. That'd be interesting. I wish I had 1 Bitcoin. Here's the thing. Even if you assume it's pump and dump artificiality, it's worthless. It's just zeros and ones in a computer somewhere. What the fuck? It doesn't have any value. Neither does fiat. The boomers have been doing the same thing. Look, all of the big... This is like what happened with GameStop. The big boomers were trying to manipulate the market, chronically shorting GameStop stock in order to make money. People counterattacked against this, drove the price up, screwed the hedge fund that was involved with this. GameStop's still there. Their stock is still above water. They reacted. They retaliated against the artificiality. The artificiality, that's the stock market. It's fiat printing, the Fed. Everything financial is a goddamn smoke and mirrors magic show. None of it's truly real. You can wipe your ass with money, just like, stuff that's moving around the blockchain can be involved in a computer transaction. That's perfectly wonderful. You can have a permanent, eternal contract involved with your NFT, proving that you're the only one that owns the original, or whatever. That's about as useful as a piece of funny money. Yeah, you can wipe your ass with it. You can use it as Tinder, but that's not you can't eat it. Well, you can, but, it's not nutritious. I guess you get a little bit of fiber from certain types of currency. You can eat your coins. Might get a little bit of zinc from it, or copper or something. They don't use much copper in coins anymore. It's too expensive. Otherwise, it's useless. It's just the government agrees upon the fact that it's the medium of exchange. It represents tangible values. So can shitcoin. So can Bitcoin. So can any coin. It's the same thing. The manipulating markets, manipulating value, my goodness. What do you think that the Fed does every day? The Treasury exists to manipulate money. The Fed exists to manipulate money. The government manipulates things constantly, and it knows what it's doing. The big investors, the hedge fund managers and bankster class have billions of dollars in funny money, and they get, unlimited amounts of funny money from the government mainly, and they can do whatever they want. They can manipulate the value. So, you short the stock badly, you crash its price, you pay off the people that invested, then you buy a shit ton of it back up, and then you let it rise by talking about how great it is. Why do you think that so many big banksters keep attacking Bitcoin or crypto in general? It's a scam. It's funny money. It's baloney. You have a power outage, your money goes away. It's useless. Then when the price falls, we get stories about them, in the legacy media of all places, buying up billions of dollars of crypto. Why do you think that is? It's because they talk negatively about it using their multifaceted legacy media platform to depress interest in the coin, convince soccer mom America not to invest, and businesses and smaller banks. Price goes down because the supply is now higher than the demand, because you've depressed the demand mainly. Then you buy it up, and then you talk about how great it is. And then the price rises. Well, you bought the low that you helped create. What the fuck is the difference? I don't care if a bunch of trolls and the goddamn hackers create some new coin and they say, you know what? Well, let's issue trillions of these. And, at first it'll be dirt cheap. We'll invest in our own coin. Then we'll use a network of influencers to talk about it. And the price will skyrocket because it'll go viral, like Doge or SHIB or whatever. And then, everyone will get rich. By the way, it's a sound strategy. I'm not even sure that it's actually illegal. By the way, also disclaimer, I'm not in any of these influencer networks. I know that there are probably influencers at this point that do that get in on the game. I don't know, I bought the peak. Supposedly, everyone thinks that I bought the peak, so that I've lost, hundreds of dollars. Maybe so. That's the other thing. Definitely I wouldn't recommend investing a goddamn red cent unless you have disposable income. Don't invest anything more than you're willing to go to the value of zero. If you're investing your lunch money, you may find yourself going without lunch. That would be advice. But that's just not investment advice. It's common sense. Shouldn't do that with stocks or gambling or anything else. You got a little extra money and you want to take a wad to the horse races and lose it to the mafia? Go right ahead. If that money is your drug money and you're going to be turning tricks in the alley otherwise, that's your coke money. I can't officially recommend you buy coke, but, I wouldn't give it to the mafia over horse races that they fixed, and they send them to the glue factory anyway, so you shouldn't be patronizing such things. I don't understand exactly why people get into gambling anyway. It's about the most fucking boring thing in the world. I pressed a lever over and over and lost money. Isn't this great? And then bought, $5, mugs of beer, and that would be on the cheaper end. Yeah. I know this video went off the rails. Anyway, what I would say is that the meme coin thing, really, it's like the economic free-for-all of the 80s. With people, speculating about themselves and dressing for success and running up huge amounts of debt to impress their boss and dress for the job that you want. And a lot of people went bust. Some people went boom. It's a gamble. Everything in life is a fucking calculated risk. Everything that you say and that you do is a calculated risk. You could be tomorrow a jackbooter could crush your skull. So speak freely, do what you want. Just use common sense. That's about all. Peace out.